Zestlife is a registered financial services provider specializing in debt protection cover for personal loans and vehicle finance contracts, as well as top-up health insurance for medical scheme members, supplementing health cover with medical gap cover, cancer cover, and medical scheme premium waiver. The South African insurance sector has 4 major players, each with a long and successful heritage, and they enjoy a dominant share of the market. The directors of Zestlife, all of whom dedicated many career years to these large insurers, share the view that big can have advantages, but it's not always better. With a smaller, specialist provider like Zestlife, there is less separation between the business owners and managers and their policy holders. This allows for more focus and understanding of policyholder needs and experiences, and leads to the design of better policies to meet those needs. At Zestlife, we challenge conventional practices, particularly how individuals have, until now, been charged for health and debt protection cover. We look to offer something better, and since 2008, this has become our competitive advantage, allowing us to become a significant presence in these markets.
When we thought of the idea to start Zestlife, we weren't thinking of becoming one of the big 4 insurers or a very large insurer. We had an idea that we knew we had niche product solutions and we knew which markets they were appropriate for, and that excited us.
We thought that rather look for niche products with unique methods of distribution where there's a real need for the insurance.
I think strategically we do want to keep our business quite free of hierarchy and many levels and old corporate structures. So that's why we've kept a very flat structure. In terms of the 5 experts at the top, we do have our own specific fields of expertise, and they seem to complement each other very well. So not only do we get on well as a team personally, but our skills complement each other very well to deliver what we're trying to do in the business.
As founders of the business, we share a clear sense of the competencies required to operate competitively, and it was this shared view that has brought us together. From day one, we've been able to offer an end-to-end insurance solution that draws down on our respective actuarial, finance, policyholder administration, claims, legal, regulatory, marketing, systems, and distribution skills.
The coming together was a recognition of the complementary skills required to start this business, but not before we'd worked for in some instances, 20 years together.
Leadership through passion in the process and in the product, in the people that we employ, all feed through to our policyholder base. So if you take those 3 and you work on them all the time, don't lose the focus. We're close enough to the business as owners to make the important decisions.
The choice to stay a lean, medium-sized organization allows us to be very selective when identifying our employees. This translates into quality customer service across all divisions of the company.
We definitely have a strategy to be very selective in the people that we want to employ. Obviously, we've been in a very fortunate position that we could handpick a large number of them because of previous relationships and knowing them.
We take people who we know have a background of excellence. We're small enough to be able to focus on them. We put a lot of time and effort into the people, into what the people want, creating an environment that creates that, the outcomes that you're looking for, and the outcomes follow.
Most of our staff are actually trained one-on-one, where they're actually being given advice at their desk, they monitor the feedback going back to them, which is quite an advantage. But I think that there's also something in the work environment we have. Most of our staff is people that tends to be self-managed. They like to take responsibility and they actually want to give good service to a client. That really makes them feel good at the end of the day. And I think that's definitely something that differentiates us from many of our competitors.
They want to take home a X amount, they want to share in profits, they want an environment that is pleasing to them, is satisfying their psychological needs, their needs for growth. we've gone about engineering a culture that is very energized.
With the core objective of providing niche services at affordable premiums to a market that needs such products, the team at Zestlife is well placed to deliver on their intentions.
I think just the economics of starting a new business, you can't try and do everything, right up front. So I think it makes sense to choose your niche products and also how you're going to distribute those products, and that's what we did.
If you look at the product range that we have, there are essential type of covers that you need. Most of our clients do understand that, and they do make ways to find savings to afford those products. And our premiums are really very competitive.
To be the best medical gap cover and credit life providers has required us to challenge the status quo by redesigning the benefits offered by each of the policies and operating with more current and realistic risk assumptions, which ultimately provides the policyholder with significantly lower premiums.
We've been able to remodel the product and come back with a product offering that is cheaper but is also a better product from a benefits perspective.
We had some background experience in the credit insurance environment. We'd been supplying some of the big finance houses with standard credit insurance. We saw the pitfalls in that product structure, and through that process we learned what the market needed and what we could put together for them. In the health environment there were a lot of changes going on, and those changes provided an opportunity for us. So those were two opportunities that we capitalized on.
Insurance is a highly regulated industry, and it should be. This regulation applies to both the service provider and the policyholder.
But it is a good thing because the regulation actually makes sure that people do business properly, and we support it.
And I think with that comes the fact that the person buying the product from a provider must trust that provider. So trust brings loyalty, keeps our customers for longer, keeps them happy, and then keeps us in business. So I think it works well overall.
Added to this, policyholders can be secure in the knowledge that Zestlife's policies are backed by the world's leading reinsurance companies.
Swiss Re have been very good in supporting us, helping us set up the business financially, and we continue to reinsure a lot of our business with them. January is another one, and RGA. We will work with the three of them, and they're all international reinsurance companies that bring a lot of expertise that we can draw on and the ability to take big insurance risks.
Despite the difficult economic climate, Zestlife continues to build on our promise and enjoys a growing customer base.
Insurance is something that not necessarily everybody enjoys buying to start off with, so it's a grudge purchase. The only event that's going to precipitate a payout is normally a negative event.
You need to know when benefits are going to be paid, what is actually covered, who is covered, for how long you're covered, and what it's going to cost you. You actually got to have a simple way of explaining exactly what the client has and owns. It's a very positive thing. It's this treating customers fairly legislation, which is coming into force in January 2014. And it really is just all about making sure that customers are treated fairly, and that they understand what they're buying, and that they are aware of all the terms and conditions, and they're going to be quite strong and stringent obligations on insurers to make sure that they do understand that.
The reality we find is that very few people actually read their policy document. What we can do though is unpack the existing legalese and jargon that sits in the policy documents at the moment, unpack it into a simple form, and then go a step further. What we're doing now is put it in a visual form that people are going to understand that much easier.
While continuing to focus on the specific needs of specific markets, monitoring market trends and changes in legislation, and delivering the superior cover our policyholders deserve, the Zestlife team is now looking forward to the next phase.
I don't believe that big is necessarily better in this instance.
We haven't grown too quickly, and we don't want to grow too quickly in the future. We'll do it, and we'll do it gradually, and we'll do it when we think the time is right.
My midterm ambition is to continue to grow and to do that in a proactive, staff-oriented manner. I think if you take care of that, if you treat your staff well and you give them opportunity, the rest follows.
My ambitions is to actually create a company that can truly give appropriate products that meet our client needs, but more importantly is once we've actually obtained the client, that we can service that client well. I definitely want us to be known for our awesome service that we provide to our customers.
Welcome to Zestlife. Cover you can trust, people you can depend on.